Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Anthropology of AI podcast. I'm Val, your chief anthropologist, and today we need to talk about something a recent trip that I took. So we went on a 2-week road trip to Martha's Vineyard in Maine. It was amazing. I completely disconnected. It was a camping trip, so as a family, we went camping for the first time. So sort of sleeping in a tent, all that amazing anthropological experience. And as I mentioned, I completely disconnected, but then I also sort of realized something when I came back. So when I came back, I, you know, was looking back at the pictures and my husband and I were looking through the footage that he took with his new favorite drone toy. And I couldn't stop thinking about something very much related to design anthropology and something that ultimately is very, very relevant to our conversation about the anthropology of AI. So it's not really about the vacation that I want to talk about. It's more about that moment of clarity and sort of awareness that I had. Sometimes when you disconnect and you come back and it kind of hits you. So it really got me thinking that what if the biggest risk of AI isn't something like Skynet and AI taking over the world, but that we're using this incredible technology to build this perfect digital casino for the human mind. And bear with me because I'll explain later what I mean by that. But essentially, a place of endless, easy, cheap pleasure that can ultimately end up nudging and manipulating us and ultimately eroding our own decision autonomy. And that reminds me a little bit of what happened with social media, right? So let's dive in. So we were driving from New York to Martha's Vineyard, and we have two little kids in the car. And with two little kids, you make stops. So we pulled over, like we pulled into like one of this massive family entertainment centers um, that seemed really fun. And on one side, they actually had like really nearby, like sharing the parking space. They had a casino for adults, and then on the other side, they had like this um, beautiful center for the kids with arcade, with you know water park. So like this kids entertainment center. And there are a few design things that I notice about it, or rather, kind of how design dictates your experience. So, from anthropology standpoint, you think about your physical space or your virtual space, and in that case, it was definitely our physical space, and sort of the fundamental human needs, right? Like how you operate in that space, how that space dictates how you move around, and then the access that you have to the fundamental human needs like movement, food, um entertainment. And so um the food in that entire place, so across the board in the kids section and in casino, it was all comfort food. So it was like very um hyper palatable. It was like sugary, salty. It was also like very plentiful, very satiating, if not nauseating. And the entertainment was also very similar. It was like a sensory fire hose, flashing lights and instant rewards in both casino and the kids area. We actually haven't explored the casino. We were just there for like additional food options and also because it was there. And so we sort of explored. And so like every game, and I'm talking about both here, right? Like the casino and the kids arcade. So every game was designed for like a quick hit of pleasure. It's like a small victory. Like tickets fell out of the machine. and it was so easy. It was consuming, would like drag you in. And honestly, it was like a perfect mirror between, the casino for grown-ups and the entertainment and all that stuff for the kids. You see where I'm getting at? So it's what I call cheap dopamine. It's that immediate, effortless gratification that we get from this endless scrolling on social media, like binge watching, the show that's chosen by our algorithm. It's the one click purchasing. It's, all these actions that require absolutely nothing but our attention. And it's highly effective at keeping our attention as well. But it's not deeply satisfying because there is no sense of accomplishment, right? For thousands and thousands of years, humans evolved to go out there and hunt and, take care of our needs in a certain ways. And so here's what we're getting to. So essentially, we stayed in that place for like a day and a half, and then it was just like a stopover for us. And then we ultimately got to Martha's Vineyard, and the entire experience fundamentally shifted. So we pitched a tent, we rented some bikes, and we rode the bikes with the kids everywhere. And I will tell you that riding a bike for miles and miles with little kids is not what you consider easy. Like you sweat, you have to like manage, different things, even though the infrastructure was actually pretty good for riding a bike, even with kids. But, you have to balance, you have to navigate, you have to think about many different things. It's not very easy. It's very satisfying though somehow. Just like setting up a tent, even though I can't take the credit for setting up a tent. I was just trying to like be supportive, but I've never set up a tent in my life. Like all credit goes to my husband and my oldest son. Like they did it together. But the feeling that you get at the end of this experience that is a bit more requiring of some effort is completely different, right? It's deep earned satisfaction. And so that's sort of good dopamine. It's the reward in the brain that gives us um satisfaction for making an effort, that ultimately is the struggle that leads to mastery. It's overcoming a challenge, and it's the ultimate feeling of creating something meaningful, achieving a goal, or moving through, a challenging scenario. It's fulfilling. It's fulfilling in a very different way. And so that's where design anthropology perspective gets very, very interesting. So Martha's Vineyard as an island isn't just nature. It's a designed environment. So the network of bike lanes is a deliberate choice. It's an infrastructure built on a value system that prioritizes a certain type of human experience over another. It puts this human powered vehicle um, on equal or even superior footing with a car. It's a design choice that says we value this slower, more effortful, but more connected way of being. And so this is a direct pushback against the car dominated society that, um, by the way, terrifying side note, is one of the leading killers of children in this country. So one system that is designed for convenience and speed, and the other one is a human scale experience and well-being. And so here's the trillion-dollar question that connects the kids' arcade, the bikes, and the future of the world with AI. Which value system are we building into our artificial intelligence tools? Because, as we said, AI is the ultimate mirror. AI systems are often just a reflection of the data that we're putting in there. It's built on historical data. It reflects the bias that's in the data, that is already prevalent in our society, in our communities. And so this powerful tool can be both, um, aiding, an addiction, or empowerment. And, the path of least resistance would be AI as, masterful tool for optimizing our immediate gratification. So look at the social media, as I mentioned, those are TikToks and Netflixes and YouTubes of the world. They're kind of like search engines on steroids. They're designed to minimize the friction between you and the next piece of content. And the algorithm serves this like endless buffet, creating a passive loop. It's not neutral. It can introduce some serious algorithmic bias. For example, studies have found that job recommendation engines have shown women ads for much lower paying jobs than men, simply reflecting and amplifying historical inequality in the data. And it's a design that can subtly nudge and manipulate user choices, leading to a loss of what we consider the user autonomy, the autonomy of decision making. um, we can also think about this path of least resistance, leading to hyper personalized commerce. So, you know, the AI driven ads that are highly personalized and just kind of drive more and more of that commercial activity, delivering you very, very quick ways to purchase something, um, marketed and designed with the idea that that would be an immediate solution for some underlying need that you have. And, you know, in the process, using personal data um, to kind of find that moment of weakness. And, all of these examples, the path of least resistance, it really amplifies comfort over agency. So it makes your life easier, but it sort of takes away your ability to choose in the process. And uh, it's really fundamental to humans, who we are. And in order for us to thrive and feel accomplished, um, there needs to be a balance. So if we think about a very different path for AI, is sort of like AI as a bicycle for the mind. That's the one that really excites me. That's the one that aligns with good dopamine and reward system of a bike ride. It's not just to you know um, automate tasks or make your life easier, which is totally fine. But there's more to it, right? It's meant to um, truly build on and extend human capabilities. So it's the idea that the AI can perform um, tasks that will ultimately allow humans to perform at a higher level, to augment our capabilities instead of like replacing our effort. And so, one really great example that exists is, AI, using AI for skills mastery. So, for example, in education, imagine an AI tutor that can give you a real time feedback, for your piano practice, for example, and is making sure that your effort is getting more effective. Or AI is a creative planner, so it's more for content creators, designers, scientists, can handle repetitive parts of the work, ultimately freeing up our time for higher level strategic thinking and discovery. And it will, for example, for a marketing agency, create the opportunities to think of more innovative and more helpful ways to uh, to create and to run their campaigns. And my favorite example, I guess, is the AI for well-being. So think about AI analyzing your health data and create a personalized fitness plan. And it doesn't just help you come up with a plan, but it also sort of helps encourage you. Like the way I use AI sometimes is to help me overcome um, the black page paradox. So it's almost like, okay, how can I plan my day to be healthier? And then you can work with you know contextual data that you are comfortable sharing in order to get the recommendations that are really uh, relevant for you. So that second path that we talk about, the AI as a bicycle for the mind, is definitely more of celebrating human agency and fulfillment. It uses technology to remove some frustrating friction, but not the actual meaningful challenge that is actually essential for humans to thrive. So it's more about designing the processes where AI systems are embedded as powerful supportive tools. And so, you know, thinking back about that bike ride, and we've done other fun stuff as well that was challenging and really rewarding. It just became so clear to me. Um, the path exists because the community decided that it should. They valued a specific kind of human experience and they designed their environment to support it. And so we are today this community for AI. And development of AI governance, for instance, isn't just a technical problem for corporations. It's a society-wide problem to solve. As technologists, as users, as citizens, we are making thousands of tiny design decisions that will determine whether we build a future of digital casinos or a world full of bicycles for the mind. Because AI will ultimately reflect what we value. If we optimize purely for comfort and engagement, we will get a world of cheap dopamine that leaves us distracted and unfulfilled and addicted. But if we design for agency, mastery, for deep, hard earned satisfaction that comes from overcoming challenge, we can build AI that helps us become more capable and more human in a very positive way. So these are sort of normative choices about how we handle technology and what kind of the world we want to live in, and the choice is ours to design. Please subscribe to Anthropology of AI, and I will keep sharing. Um, I will keep sharing more content for a human-centered tech future together. Talk to you next time.